Hey folks, I wanted to follow up with the wide to tall data video I made. This shows how this is useful when you're collecting data on a Google form. If you use a Google form and you collect data that is the data style of the checkbox grid, and in this case what this form is collecting is all the different PDU sessions that were available, professional development sessions that were available, followed by the columns just being a yes, you either attended it or you didn't. And when you look at that form, the data that gets collected ends up looking like this. So the people that fill out the form, you collect the data, and you're just getting yeses across there. Well, this data is really hard to analyze. It's hard to figure out how many sessions this person selected, and it's hard to figure out how many sessions or which people or how many people attended by sessions. It's very difficult to read this kind of data, and this is how it's collected when you bring it in through a Google form. So this is where we use our wide to tall formula. This is our wide to tall formula, where we are basically, we had gone over this in our last video. We're taking this data that we have here, the clean data. We're taking the clean data. We are running our split and flattened. We're creating this data set right here. We're creating that data set here. Show you that. So that's our data set, and then we're querying that data, and then when we query it that way, this is our query. We have to use the col 1, col 2, col 3, col 4, and then we're collecting that data in a way that we can then use. So it's very handy now that I've collected that data in that kind of way. I am able to, for instance, I'm able to write a pivot table. I can insert a pivot table against this data, and we'll put it on this existing sheet, and we'll just set that pivot table right over here. And now that I've got that, I could, first of all, I could put in my rows as the people, and then I could do a count of the sessions, and I can see how many, and I could actually summarize. Let's see, we could do a descending by the count, and then I can see very quickly who took the most number of sessions. Then I can take that same pivot table, copy that, come over and paste that, and now instead of doing the name, I can get rid of this. Let's do a pivot table against sessions. These would be all of our sessions, and then we can do a count of we can actually do a count of attended, and let's go ahead and let's replace that. So now we can see it's kind of hard to see the names here. If I widen this out, we could see that a little better. So now I can get a count of two things. I can get and let's go ahead and edit this pivot table one more time. Let's do a descending order by the count of attended. So again, put that pivot table editor away. Nice new feature on the pivot tables, by the way. It used to be if you clicked inside of the pivot table, it always opened up the editor. Now you have to go ahead and click the edit button. So that's an improvement. But now very quickly I can see which sessions got attended the most and which person attended the most sessions. And that was very difficult really to assess from this bit of data. So an application of our wide to tall formula, which we see right here, array formula, query, split, flatten. We in one formula pull this data set into this data set, and then we can write our pivot tables against that.